Let's have a closer look at the C-Pen dictionary pen. So here we have the brown pen in its case. I've already turned it on, and we're going to have a look at how it works for somebody reading a text when they need to use a dictionary. And we're going to look at 4 different types of use. So the first one will be an English speaker reading an English text and needing help with some of the words in it. Then we're going to have a look at an English speaker reading a text in a foreign language. We're going to try Russian and Chinese and see how it would help them doing that. And then finally, we're going to have a look at somebody who's not a speaker of English, reading in English, but translating into their language. And we're going to try Russian. We're using Russian partly because it's there's a bit of a challenge there, but also that is the language that I can best judge how well this works, and Chinese because I think that would be quite interesting to try. I've only taken a few lessons of Chinese, so I can just barely see if this works, but I'll be able to give you some sense of whether this would be useful for somebody learning Chinese. So let's start with somebody who is an English-speaking person reading something in English. So here, the way this dictionary works, you use these left and right buttons to change your dictionary. So you just basically scroll to the one that you want, which is English to English. It would be nice if it spoke what you're choosing, but it doesn't do that. Some of these, you can use these up and down arrows to choose your dictionary, but in this case, we don't. We just set this. Set the dictionary, set the settings. You can set the number of settings, but there's only one dictionary that we can choose, which is the Collins Dictionary. So let's go scanning. So here's a text I took from an exam. This is a GCSE exam, so let's say I'm finding some words like innovative, and just going to scan it. It's going to say innovative, and I can then use these down arrows to scroll down, and it will read
innovative asterisk
the definition.
Using or showing new methods, ideas, etc.
So that could be quite useful. As you can hear, there are some problems with it. It's not perfect. It reads the phonetic pronunciation, but it reads it badly. You don't really need it to read this. So hopefully an update, because this can be updated, will teach it to be a bit smarter about how it reads the actual dictionary definition. And also it just reads this abbreviation for adjective as edge, which again, would somebody just listening would probably find that distracting and maybe difficult to follow. But if we scroll down, we see it has some ideas, some suggestions for usage. So it's certainly useful, and it's much quicker than going through a dictionary, even though perhaps reading it is a bit more difficult than it would be in a dictionary. Let's see how it goes, how it does with some more difficult words. So I'm just going to go back and scan, for example, the word virtual.
Virtual asterisk. V2UL. Aj1. Having the essence or effect but not the appearance or form of. A virtual revolution too.
Okay, so that works pretty well as well. But you have to see also that as it reads, it does not scroll automatically. So you're going to have to follow the reading and scroll as it goes. So here's another word I'm going to try. Mainland.
Mainland asterisk. Mainlandi. N1. An island off in Scotland. The largest of the Shetland Islands.
So here we have a number of definitions, and it just kind of reads through them just as N1. That means it's noun. It would be, again, very nice if these abbreviations, if it could read out properly so that it's a bit easier to follow. The other problem with the dictionary pen is that if there are multiple definitions, you have to scroll down, and it's not always obvious that there will be. So, for example, mainland, you can see the first definition here actually isn't the one that is relevant from the text, and you have to scroll all the way down to see the second one that defines mainland as the normal word that's not the name of a particular island. So that's something to be aware of. But other than that, I think this is a very useful tool for more advanced students. For beginner students who are struggling with reading, this probably wouldn't be that useful, but somebody who is doing more advanced reading, they would find this much easier than looking things up in a dictionary. But of course, if they got the general reader pen, then they will get this dictionary there as well. So this particular dictionary pen that has only the dictionary isn't for somebody who is only reading in English and who are an English speaker. But let's have a look at what it would look like for a non-native, for a native English speaker learning a foreign language, because this is really where this pen can make a difference. So let's see what texts we have here to try. So here I have a little text from the days when I was trying to learn a bit of Chinese. And so we're going to use the left and right arrows to change the language, and we're going to go from Chinese to English. And let's see how this works. So here we have the basically some characters. So I'm just going to scan over like this. Arjun. So that is, and tells me that actually does mean sun. So that's pretty good. Let's try another one. That tells me child or children or son or daughter. So that's again quite accurate. Now, one of the things that you can see if you wanted to use this for studying Chinese, one downside here is it does not show you pinyin, which is this Latin transcription, which would be very, very useful because it is a great aid for learners, including native speakers of Chinese. And also, very often you come across pinyin text. So if you scan pinyin, it actually recognizes all the characters, but it doesn't translate it. So that is, if I were learning Chinese, it would be useful enough, but unfortunately it has a bit of a downside here. It does not seem to deal with this with pinyin. And the other issue, I tried it on a textbook that I had that has a bit sort of stylized characters, and that was unfortunately there was some errors with some of those. But it should work fairly well with normal printed Chinese characters, as you can see. Well, that's good. So let's try a language that more people may try, a European language, and that will be, in this case, Russian. So I printed out a Wikipedia page about the Европейский Союз, European Union. So let's see how the dictionary pen deal with it. So I'm going to use the back button to go to dictionary selection, and again the left and right to choose the dictionary. So I'm going to go to that's English, German, German, English, Italian, and it takes a bit of scrolling. There we go. It's English to Russian and Russian to English. All right, so let's see how that works. So Russian is a language that I know well enough, so I can tell you if this is doing well. So let's try Европейский. Okay, so that did perfectly, and it says it's an adjective and it means European. Well, there's nothing, so let's try another one. Here's the word. Прослушать. And that means to hear or to listen. So, or even to attend a course of lecture. So that again, that actually is accurate. So we don't have to worry about it now. But Russian has this really complex morphology. So let's try a word that isn't in the basic dictionary form. So let's try this one. Циркулирует. So this actually is a rotating. That's not a word that was in there. So we found one that wasn't in there, but that I don't think is that much of a problem. There we go. So this is a good. So the word is in one of the cases. I think this would be the instrumental, but it actually just reads out, recognizes that, and reads out the word in the dictionary, territoria. Or territory. So that's and it's territory. So that's actually really good, because one of the problems that learners of Russian have is that not the words that they see on the page don't look exactly the same the way they look in the dictionary. So this, for somebody learning Russian, I think this would be a really useful tool when they're at a slightly more advanced stage and trying to read text. So thumbs up for that, for Russian. It's definitely working well. Now, what about somebody who is either English or who is either Russian or Chinese and trying to learn English? So let's see how that would work. So again, we choose a dictionary and choose a dictionary. This time we're going to go from English to Russian, and here we have we're back to our English text. So let's see how that works. So we see primary, and it doesn't read out the definitions in these texts. It only does that in English and in Chinese for some reason. But it definitely gives us the transfer here, and it says it has to. Again, we have the same issue as with English, that the definitions, it's not always clear exactly which one is relevant. So here, for example, the first definition was the noun, which is primary, the American part of the American elections, and then we have the adjective here further down. So somebody learning, again, complete beginner will struggle with this, as they would with any dictionary, but that's one of the issues. Now, the bigger issue that I found with this, which is that it only does one word at a time. So, for example, if you have a phrasal verb, then it doesn't do that. So let's see if we can find an example of this. So for example, here we have has enabled, and it translates the first word has as the full thing rather than recognizing it belongs to the next one, enabled. But then I can use the right arrow and go to and then press the OK button. So it will read that again. It will recognize that enabled is in the past tense, and it will show me that. But it unfortunately doesn't recognize that these two words belong together, and that would be really useful, particularly with words like get up, put up. Where actually, if on their own they don't mean the same thing as when you put them together, and this is one of the biggest problems for people learning English. But if you're looking for more difficult words, somebody who's again more advanced, I think they would find this useful. So that is the dictionary pen. Overall, I think really good for somebody learning one of these languages, with some limitations, particularly for Chinese, but for Russian it was really good, and it would be the same for German and French or Italian. And not bad for somebody learning English. Definitely something that I think would save you a lot of time. When I was learning English, I spent so much time looking things up in a dictionary. So if I could have this pen and have it translate into my language, which I mean, it's unfortunate it's not one of these, but if I was a learner of one of these languages, I would certainly have paid any money for this sort of a tool, because it would have saved me so much time. And unfortunately, the dictionaries, I'm not sure, are extensive enough to work for professional translators, but they may work. And the dictionaries aren't bad. And I think this is certainly a tool worth for that. For English learners who are English speakers and who just want to use this alongside to help them with text, I would recommend the Reader Pen, which has the same dictionary in it and has all these other features as well. So that is our conclusion on the C-Pen dictionary pen.